Welcome, fellow truth seekers, to our cosmic corner of the internet. Today, we are honored to bring you a profound and transformative experience with the renowned Andromedan contactee, Alex Collier. But before diving into cosmic wisdom, we kindly ask you to lend your support. Please take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon for notifications. Doing so, you help us amplify Alex Collier's knowledge and reach a wider audience. Together, let's ignite the awakening of consciousness around the world.
Sit back, relax, and listen to the entire webinar, number 31. In it, Alex Collier continues to cover the topics from his last webinar, including the current state of the world and galaxy, the Schumann Resonance, solar system anomalies, and much more.
Welcome to Alex's 31st webinar. And we're it's like I heard myself this week. We're all walking around injured. We don't know where James is. James is MIA somewhere in Spain. So let's hope it all hangs together. Now, I see a dark screen in front of me. Alex, are you there?
I am here.
Oh, gold. Okay.
Okay, I'm a go. I'll just keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to our humble little webinar, number 31. Nothing short of a miracle. Listen, I want to do a little bit of housework here, in that I don't know what it is, but in the last couple of weeks, I have received some emails from individuals who are wanting physical miracles, physical healing miracles, and a majority of individuals who want to just be taken off the planet and don't want to be here. And they want the A's to come down, or the Andromedan Council to come down and just take them to some other place. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't even get them to do that for me. Okay? And it's just not going to happen that way. And that's not how it's meant to happen that way. Okay? I understand that life can feel very overwhelming. It can feel very difficult, completely out of sync, and you maybe cannot figure out what your place is in this incredible drama that is unfolding around all of us. It could also be that you feel very powerless, that you feel like no one's listening, no one hears you, no one sees you. I understand all of that. Been there. Absolutely have been there. And I want to remind you of something Visayas once said to me. And that is, he asked me a question. He said, where does love come from? And I had all the wrong answers, okay? Because I was out here, okay? My focus, my everything was out here. And I had all the wrong answers. And he said, no, love comes within. If you can't love yourself, then you clearly have the wrong information about who you truly are. And I feel it's important to bring that back up, because the energies are getting very intense. The media is horrible in instigating more fear, more anger, more frustration. It is just, it's difficult to see the forest through the trees. But you have to understand what's being played here. This is a game, okay? It is an illusionary, holographic game that's being played. You have the powers that be who are pretending to be the rulers of the planet because they think they have all the power because they control all the wealth. When in reality, they don't have shit, okay? It isn't about the wealth. It's about the mind. It's about your intention to create your reality. That's where the power is. And for them to convince you that you're worthless is only to disempower you from creating the life that you really truly want. It also keeps you from truly seeking who you really are. Now, this is not rocket science. It really isn't. It's just that you have to make a commitment to love yourself and to forgive yourself of whatever screw-ups there have been. And we've all been there. There is no way you can be here and not make mistakes because we don't have hardly any information. It's not like they're being completely honest about everything, about our past, about spirituality, about our health, about religion, about government, about the history of our solar system, about the history of our planet. They haven't been honest about any of it. Zero, nada. So how can you possibly make a fully informed decision based on 10% information? You can't. So you got to lighten up. You got to lighten up on yourself and understand that you are truly doing the best you can with what you have to work with. And I know it is scant. I know. I'm there every day, just like the rest of you. Okay? But you have to make a commitment, an intention to love yourself. You can't love anyone else if you don't love yourself. Because what happens is you give yourself away until you're empty. And when you're empty, your vessel collapses because there's nothing for you. And it still is about you. When you are full of self-love, when you are full of self-respect, when you are full of forgiveness, you can give to others freely and there's never an end to it. There's never an end to the gifts that you can give and share with others. Okay? Okay. I guess we start over. Okay, house cleaning. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been getting some emails about people who are they're wanting to give up. They're wanting to quit. They don't want to be here. They want the A's of the Andromedan Council to come and rescue them, take them out of here, and give them a new life on some other planet. Now, I can't even get them to do that for me. So I'm just telling you, it isn't going to happen for you because that's not what's going on here. This is not about saving individuals. This is about humanity, okay? And as I have said before 1,000,000 times in other talks, lectures, when I did the dog and pony show, the conferences, etc. Okay, it's about this. They see the human family. They see humanity, our civilization, as a family. That's because that's their mindset. Okay? They see themselves, their entire civilization, as a family, as a unit. Okay, they don't see everybody as an individual, and therefore they watch everybody's back. That's how they view us, even though we are so disjointed, so fractured, as to be completely ridiculous. But that's how they see us. And at some point, we will begin to see ourselves that way as well. Now look, you have to love yourself. You know, those of you who want to quit, you have to love yourself. You have to forgive yourself. No matter how badly you've made mistakes, how many you've made, the screw-ups, the resentments, the regrets. You have to forgive yourself, because if you don't, that's all baggage that you keep carrying into every single relationship. And if you don't have a outside relationship, then you are carrying that baggage about yourself. How are you possibly going to move on and do what you have to do, okay, when you're carrying this horrible baggage of your own? You have to let it go. You have to forgive yourself, okay? And most importantly, you have to love yourself. And you know, there was a time when Visayas asked me, where does the love come from? And ladies and gentlemen, I gave him every single wrong answer, because I was out here. I wasn't inside, I was out here. And, you know, he just, no, 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 no. He said the love comes from within. That's where it comes from. We generate it ourselves. And if you can generate the love, JP, mute your mic, will you please? If
I'm trying.
If you can love yourself, if you can love others, okay, then you have the love within you to create the love for yourself. Okay, if you cannot love yourself, then you truly cannot love someone else. You may think you are, okay, but what's happening is you're transferring that love that should be for self, that forgiveness that should be for yourself, to someone else. Okay, and what that does is it buys you time to not deal with your own shit. And you have to. We all do. Okay, now look, our history has been completely withheld from us. Our religions have given us zero. The government's lie, our history. We are living and creating a reality based on about 10% accurate information. Maybe it's 15% at this point. Okay, so that means that, you know, you're dealing between 80 and 85% of pure conjecture. How is it that you expect, or any of us expect, to make decisions based on that kind of information? You can't. You can't make fully informed decisions with only a fraction of the information. So you got to lighten up on yourself. You really do. It isn't your fault. But what is your fault is how you feel about you, how you see yourself. Okay? If you've made mistakes, forgive yourself. We've all done it. But you don't have to do penance for the rest of your life. None of us do. All right? You forgive. If you forgive others, they forgive you. If you can forgive yourself, you can truly forgive others. Okay? And you have to change the way you see yourself. Okay? The entire structure of the matrix that's around us is to disempower us. That's truly what it's about. To disempower and redirect our focus other than ourselves. And they have done a masterful job. So many of us feel disempowered. We feel like we don't have a voice. No one sees us. No one cares. I don't love myself. No one loves me. I don't know what to do. I can't affect any change with what's going on. And ladies and gentlemen, what you need to understand is this. The powers that be think they rule the planet. See, but the joke is on them. They don't. Okay? They don't. They think their wealth gives them the power to control the planet. They don't. What they have done is convinced you, us, that they are in control because of the wealth. When in fact, we, with our intention, with our minds, are creating this reality. It is us. We are the power behind the throne. And we don't need the throne. We don't need the throne. It's in the way. It is hampering our evolvement, our advancement, and our push forward into fourth and fifth density. Okay? It's time to kick the throne to the curb. We don't need it. What you need to do is empower yourself and take responsibility for what you see, what you think, and what you create. Okay? That's the bottom line here. This is important stuff. No matter what's going on off-world, okay? No matter what's going on inside the world, what really matters to you is what you think every single day about you. You have to know that. You have to know thyself. It's so important. How you react to the schmucks at work, how you react to your children, how you react to your teenagers, how you react to the guy cutting you off or blowing his horn and giving you the bird. How you react to all of that is all a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And that's the work. That is truly the work. Okay? It's not easy. It is not easy because we have been so programmed to be guilty about everything that it's tough to take the step back and just let all that go, okay? Because somewhere along the way, we have bought in to what other people think of us. And I stopped Googling me years ago because I read all this shit, and it isn't who I am at all. I mean, these people, they've never even met me. You know, they don't know me. They've not been in my home. They don't know me at all. And so I stopped because it's all rubbish. It's all rubbish. And I know it's rubbish. I know who I am. It took me a lot longer than I wanted to, but I know who I am now. A lot of things have come together. And I promise you, if you stick in there, if you hang in there and you do the work on yourself, and you truly learn to love yourself and to forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made, it all comes together. It really does. And it's, you'd be amazed at how quickly things line up. It's a good thing, folks. It's a good thing, and it's a good thing that you're here, every single one of you. Those of you who send me emails, you want to leave, you want to end your life, please don't do that. And and I have compassion for you because in the last 15 years there have been several times where I've entertained wanting to leave. There has been. I'm not going to kid you, because it just seems overwhelming. But what I realized was, finally, is that decision, that idea, that path that I was walking was all based on false information. Absolutely false information. Okay? And it's the same with you. You are not powerless. You are not helpless. Okay? People do care about you. You can be heard. You have to hear yourself first, though. Okay? Empower yourself. And it'll all come together. It will come together. Maybe one of the things you should stop doing is listening to the news. Because that will spin your head around like there's no tomorrow, and because it's designed to spin your head around, to make you crazy, to drive you nuts, to make you doubt everything, to feel helpless and powerless. That's what it's for. It isn't to inform. It isn't to empower. It does just the opposite of that. And if that's the case, throw it away. If it doesn't empower you, if it doesn't feed your soul, Let it go. Okay? Use the old Italian expression. Let it go. Just don't go there. Okay? It's all bullshit anyway. Okay? It's all drama. It's all media hype. That's what it is. Okay, there isn't going to be a nuclear war. The aliens are not going to let nuclear weapons detonate or be used because it tears holes in dimensions. And we have so much going on already with CERN. They're just not going to do this. There is no playing this game. That is all hype. You understand? That's what it is. Bottom line. Okay? But what it does is it lowers your vibration, it creates fear, and it turns your attention from self and self-empowerment to, oh my God, what's going to happen? I got to pay attention to the drama. And now your energy is feeding the drama. Okay? Now you're feeding the matrix, which is what they want, because they feed off of us. They have from the get-go. They have to. They have been doing this from the get-go, feeding off our energy. We're the ones who create the reality, not them. They need us. Okay? We need to kick the throne over, and we need to move forward and create what we want. Okay? And I've been saying this for a while now. Do you even know what you want? You know, okay. I want to read something, and then we're going to talk about current stat stuff. But I thought it was important to address that because I know the frequency is changing. I know that the Schumann Resonance is climbing the scale. Understand that the Earth is going through a lot of changes. And we naturally with her because we're on the surface. We're antenna, right? She is going to expand. She is growing. She's making herself larger in order to accommodate higher frequency. So physically, she has to adjust and expand. That involves geological shifts and changes. That means creating new land, and it means expanding width. Now, new land may not always be above the water. It may for a time be underwater. But nonetheless, things are happening. We have to ride the wave. We have to ride the frequencies. That's what this is about. Do you think the aliens came here just to see the Earth go through this change? No, ladies and gentlemen. That is not the case. Okay, we are part of this shift. We are part of this change. This is about humanity, our family, shifting and moving into a higher frequency. Now, I said this before, and I don't know if anybody even heard it because of our technical difficulties. But the A's, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, Sirius A, all of these groups, and I'm assuming even some regressives, see themselves, see their entire civilization as a family. They don't see themselves as fractured the way we have been taught to be. Okay, they see themselves as a family. Therefore, they watch out for everybody. They protect each other. Their mindset is, we are one. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to think this way as well. Okay, and eventually we will, with all these different races here, consciously looking at us and observing us as a family. At some point, just due to the 100th monkey syndrome, we're eventually going to get this too, okay? Where we really begin to feel and see ourselves as one race, not different colors, not different creeds, none of that. One family. And the sooner we get there, the better. But they do. That's how they see themselves. And that's how they see us. It's important to note that every single person on this planet, regardless of where their spiritual evolution is going through this process. Okay, some are way ahead of us, some are in the middle, some are the caboose at the end. It doesn't matter, okay? Hopefully everyone will get there. What's going to determine that is your level of self-love, your ability to stay in the present and to be aware of what's going on within yourself. Know how you feel. And the only way to do that is to truly be as much as possible in your heart. You have to be in your heart. As long as you're in your heart, you're breathing. You're aware of your breath. You know whether you're stressed out. You know if you're calm. You know if you're frazzled. You know what's going on with you based on your breath. If you're paying attention to your breath, that means that you are in your heart. You have to be in your heart because that's about soul. That's about soul. And I want to remind all of you, okay? I want to remind you that you are a multidimensional being. You are not just here in third density, encased in flesh. Wrong answer. You're a soul that has a physical body. Okay? You're a soul that has a physical body. That shift there is paramount, just to start with. Okay? Because what that does is that shifts the fact that you are a multidimensional spiritual being. Okay? That you survive whether the body does or not. It is important to know that because now there's no fear of death. Because this isn't all there is. Far from it. Okay? So you can let go of that fear. It isn't the end for you, for anybody. We can't let them do what they do over and over and over again. At some point, we have got to stop and get smart enough to outsmart these idiots. Okay? We got to stop this stuff. Now, I know the frequency stuff is difficult because we're not getting a lot of information. And it's unfortunate that here in the exopolitics community, there are some who think that they're holier than thou, that they have all the information and no one else has a clue, just them. Well, I got a newsflash for everybody. No one has all the answers. No one at all, okay? In fact, I may be somebody sitting here on their couch eating cheese puffs who knows more than I do. They just haven't come forward. And you know what? I'm okay with that. You have more knowledge than me? Go for it. Absolutely. Okay? It's time for other people who are contactees to come forward to share your knowledge. Okay? Those of us who have been doing this for 24, 25 years now, and there are many others even longer than myself, we've blazed the trail for you. We've kicked down the door. We've busted out some windows. It's okay for you to come out now. It really is. Okay? It's time. You have a different perspective. You have different situations. You have different knowledge. You have a completely different perspective, and they are all welcome. And it's time for you to get up off the couch, put the Cheetos down, and get up off the couch and share what you know about your experiences. Because, ladies and gentlemen, all of these races, they didn't come here just for the planet. They came here for humanity, for us, for our family, to evolve, to graduate, to take its place at the table of the counselors because we deserve to be there. We have been through hell. Our ancestors have been through hell. We have been through a manipulation that is for the record books. Not that I would go around bragging about it, but when we really are, when everything is laid out for us and shared what we've actually been through just to get humanity to this place, I guarantee you're going to be impressed. You will be impressed. You know, we're all going to be patting each other on the back. Good job. Well done. Holy crap. Okay, it's going to be a lot of those. I wanted to read something about the new density characteristics. Now, this is old information. It came from 1997, but I was asked to share it again because I don't recall having read this in probably close to 20 years, I think. It may be close to 20 years. So I'm going to share this with you, and then we're going to continue to move on because there are some other things I want to talk about. This was from Mornay on 1997. It is the start of the oneness that we would like to talk to you about and share with you. The vibratory rate of the universe is changing very fast, as composed to the rate of compulsory evolution. In your world, the rate of this vibratory rate will be measured by the frequency of the Earth, Schumann Resonance. The effects of the new dimension were introduced in your year 1994. It is affecting all physical material worlds, regardless of their state or dimension. I think everybody knows what that means, okay? The effects are changing all physical matter, including atoms, photons, hydrogen molecules, and all matter in the 11 creational densities. It is important that this be explained or stated for those that will listen, for it will prove to be verified for those who waver in doubt. All physical matter is going to change because all thought is changing. It is starting in all of us at a higher level in spiritual form, or what we would coin for your discernment, the one mind. As we told or spoke to you earlier when we first recorded this new dimension, we explained to you that we were told of it by the Planetary, a race consisting of a single group consciousness in what you would observe as the ninth density. That frequency being emitted from the black holes is one of polarity. We now have more data that we can share and explain about its profound effects on all of us who are physical. Now you see, they're physical just like we are. It's just that they vibrate at a higher level, which is why we don't see them. And that's the same for fourth density beings, okay? But we're moving, our vibration is changing so that we're beginning to move up, and this is why so many people are seeing so many different anomalies all over the planet, people popping in and out, people who appear to be time traveling, cars appearing one place and then not in another. Some of that has to do with parallel realities as well, but we've talked about that in the past. We know not why this is happening, but only that it will change much of all of our lives and conscious experience in a short time. We in Andromeda are preparing ourselves and our young, as well as trying to express as best we can to other races what we have learned, so that others may choose to act or not act in whichever way each acknowledges to do so. The most immediate changes is in the 11th density, as we are told. To describe it to you in your limited language is nearly impossible, as one cannot express or explain infinity to a first grader or a 5-year-old on your world. We do not mean to imply that you are not capable of understanding, but we are at a loss to explain precisely to you because your languages fall short of true expression of the soul. But we will try by saying that a dimension containing white light contains 72 frequencies of light in consciousness, and that the levels of consciousness contained within a holographic dimensional picture of the same 72 frequencies contained in one dimension has tripled itself in an instant. The 11th density is now beyond description to those who were in 11th density, and their mode and quality of descriptive language and thought is now inadequate to explain the change. Those consciousness aspects that exist to evolve are having to create whole new realities of communication. An example of what we are trying to express to you is that if 1 million people could not express or explain what had happened to them as a whole or as individuals, this would be very profound to the remainder. Well, this is what happened. The changes and leaps of consciousness are so profound on the 11th density, those changes, those beings cannot relate to it in their present wisdom. They cannot explain what it is or why it is, because their past ability to be at one within their own existence has not prepared them for what has occurred. Their new reality is beyond all experience or current expression. The effects are now beginning to be seen and felt on the 9th and 10th densities, and we as a race are starting to try to be at one with the vibration, so that there will be no interruption in our cooperation and vigilance with your present 3rd density and 4th density realities. Be it known to you that we cannot express to you what changes you will experience until we have experienced them. But based on the past and the future experiences of 9th, 10th, and 11th density beings, we already conclude that we may not be prepared to express it either. The beings of the 11th density are having difficulty expressing it themselves and expressing their experiences to each other of the oneness of their new consciousness. In other words, it is like a child who has thoughts but does not know how to speak and struggles to say its first words and isn't sure what was said or why. It's first grade on the highest level of consciousness in our universe. We love and share with you. Lose not your faith. Always be at one. Your brother Marnay. So I thought that that was very pertinent to share with you, because we're all sharing a common experience, regardless of what level of consciousness we're on. Yes, there are varying degrees. Yes, there are different perspectives. Yes, we will see and experience things individually. But we are all sharing the experience, every single one of us. Whether you're a 5th density Andromedan, a 4th density being from Sirius A, a 4th density Arcturian or a Mantis, we are all sharing the same experience, which means we are all united. We are all connected. Even the rogues, they're just choosing a different path. They're not going with the flow. And it's too sad for them, because they're going to implode themselves. They are, okay? The universe is not going to be denied. It's change in frequency. End of story. So, we don't have to go down that road, ladies and gentlemen. We can choose a different path. But you have to consciously make those choices all the time and not talk about suicide, okay? This is huge, what's happening here. This is incredibly important. And I want us all to be a part of it, because, you know, we're forefathers. all of us, right now, alive on this planet, regardless of your age, we are all forefathers to future generations. We have a responsibility to leave them accurate information and not bullshit, politically correct history, which is false. And we've already been down that road. You know, we're already down that road. We all know what that's like. We have a responsibility to get this right for them, because now we know. Now we know. Okay? We're still learning how much is bullshit, how much is false. Okay? But we're asking a lot smarter questions now than we ever have. And this is a good thing. This is a really, really good thing. World politics, my God, it is just insanity. You know, it's just insanity. And, you know, the other day I was sitting in the car listening to the radio with the air conditioning on. And I was flipping through the channels, and it's talk show, dark, 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 conflict, conflict, conflict. And I actually just found a baseball game. And I just listened to several innings of a baseball game because there was no politics, there was no conflict, there was no hate, there was no division. It was just a baseball game. And ladies and gentlemen, I haven't listened to a baseball game on the radio since I was a little boy and Mickey Mantle played for the Yankees. Okay? And I was good with that. I was really, really good with that. And when I finally got out of the car, I was calm. It was good. I felt really good. And as a friend of mine, Mike, said to me this morning, you know, sometimes you look back at something that was a very positive experience, and you can refeel that experience. And you know, it makes you feel good in the moment. And, you know, maybe we need to do more of that. Listen, for those of you who are amateur astronomers, for those of you who have infrared binoculars or, that, you know, watch the sky and, you know, are watching our fleet and everything that's going on up in space, there is an awful lot of activity going on around the moon Ganymede. And Ganymede is a place, was a moon that was brought here. I believe it was from the Pleiadian system originally, but has been retrofitted to accommodate many different species of extraterrestrial life. And it is essentially a truck stop. Okay? I mean, and what I mean by that is that trucks, cars, SUVs, trailers, 18-wheelers, yada, 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 pull into a truck stop and everybody rests and they refresh themselves and they can fuel up and they can have personal needs met, etc. Well, that's what Ganymede is. And on the surface of Ganymede, they have these structures, and they're like this on the surface. They're like this on the surface. They're all over. And I mean, they are massive. Two that I was shown were bigger than the size of Texas. And what happens is when ships come in, and sometimes it is just to rest, sometimes it is just to meet other races, or they're here for an extended period of time to do some research or some kind of scientific something. What happens is that these structures, which are just simple structures, the motherships will come in, they will come down through it, and once they settle inside, the structure will become a dome. And what it does is it creates an external habitat so that they can come out of the ship and they can move around outside their craft in their home environment. It's pretty fascinating, and I don't know everything that goes on in Ganymede, and but other contactees from other races know about Ganymede. Okay, but there is quite a bit going on there. There's several conferences. There are several council meetings, different council meetings going on, and this is all very, very good, because what this means is they're here, they're focused, they're paying attention to what's going on in our solar system. This can only be a good thing for us, those of us on the surface. Okay, so we're getting some help, we're getting some aid. It isn't dire the way they want you to think it is. It's not. It's just for many of us, it's not happening soon enough. You know, but it is what it is. It happens when it happens, but it is happening. Okay, so I want you to know that. I also heard that Barbara Marciniak, that her Ps have told her that they would be joining the party, that they would be coming to Earth, to visit Earth. And ladies and gentlemen, I only see that as a huge positive. I think Barbara Marciniak's information is excellent. I always have. And I think it's very, very good that we're now getting more and more support in these different realms. It's all good. It's really all good. So we have a lot to be encouraged about. Now, I know on our physical day-to-day life, things are intense. It's no different for me or anybody else. It's intense. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of worry. There's a lot of stupidity managing this planet. There is a lot of arrogance managing this planet. There is an overabundance of ego managing this planet. But those kind of beings cannot handle this frequency. So don't be surprised if suddenly, very quickly, they all start leaving. And I mean like soon, very, very soon, imminent, where they just start, like, they leave. And voids are left open for others to fill. Others like some of you sitting out there to step into positions of leadership. People who have a genuine heart and love for humanity and not power. That's not what this is about. This is not about power. This is about heart. Okay? And let's show these guys out there. Let's show them how much heart we have. We know we do. We know when things are at their worst and there's horrible disasters, people do the most incredible things, okay, to help each other. I don't know why we're not like that all the time. All of us. I don't get it. I don't get why we're not like that all the time. Okay, now JP, I'm praying you can hear me, and I'm praying that we're still on here, because I have no idea. But I would love to do some questions now, if you're available for that.
Yeah, we have questions.
Okay.
Okay, so Alex, here's the first question from Jeff. Whose thought forms created your adventures with the A's?
That would be my own.
Okay.
Of course, coming from there helps a lot, you know. But apparently, I'm co-creating this experience, and I own that.
Next question is about the Schumann Resonance. Some people, well, this is from Laura. The Schumann resonance was said to have spiked to 90. Some reports say it's as much as 700. Have you any intel on that?
I do not. As of last week, I thought it was around 51, 52. I wouldn't be surprised if there were very high spikes. My understanding is that you could look at the Schumann resonance as the heartbeat or the breath of the earth. When you have a spike like that, it would be the equivalent of taking in a deep breath and expanding your lungs, expanding your frequency, taking in the breath of all that is, and then releasing. And what that does is it prepares you for maybe the next jumps, the next big spikes to get us where it is that we need to go. That's my interpretation of it. Right or wrong, that's my interpretation of it.
Yeah. So, right. So this is from Harijan. So yeah, the translation. Anyway, let's just go into a very personal talk about our Andromedan friends. What they all look like, the texture of ships. Let us feel in touch with them. Morine, yeah, could you like paint us a poem?
Oh, I've already done this. I've already described them infinitum through the years. So we have another question.
Okay. All right, from Laura. Any experiences or insights with walk-ins? What do you know about walk-ins? Apart from Christopher Walken. Anyway, go.
They're real. There is usually there has to be an arrangement. Now the regressives have used the technology to grab someone, move them to a near-death experience, to the point of death, where the body leaves, and then they replace another soul with the body, and that being wakes up, comes back to life, and it isn't the same person. Now they have technology, and they have been using this for some years now. But I've not experienced anyone like that myself. I just know, but I can tell you that all those walk-ins that have had that experience where the original soul has been replaced with a negative one, they're all tagged. Those beings are tagged, and at some point they're all going to drop dead because they stole the body. And that's just simply not allowed. So I don't know who flips the switch. I don't know if it's a harmonic, but at some point, all those people who are like that, they will at some point drop dead. And they will all go together in one lot. It could be that when the frequency reaches a certain stage and the regressive aliens have to leave because they can't handle the frequency, they literally have to depart. That's what's going to happen. This entire soul group of regressive souls will all go together regardless of what physicality they're in. That probably makes more sense to everybody.
That's a great question. Great answer as well. Thank you.
Lauren comes up with some good ones.
Yeah, his actually, you just say, Lauren has another one. And when Morine uses his vocal cords to speak to you, does he speak with an accent? And also, can he speak Thai? Doesn't know.
Can he speak what?
Thai, the language of Thailand.
I don't know.
Siamese.
He wouldn't speak to me because I wouldn't understand it. So I don't know. It's been a lot of work teaching him English. Does he speak? Yes, there is an accent. It is hard to describe, but it's almost French and something else.
I was going to say, it sounds, I bet
Maybe
it sounds a
Scottish.
bit French
Somewhere between
Canadian.
French and Scottish. To me, that would be the accent. It's not all the words, but many words. He has that. He does. It's somewhere between French and Scottish. So yes, yes.
Does he
That's a
roll his
great
R's
question.
in a way?
I have
It is
not
a
been
great
asked that
question.
question ever before, I don't think.
Does he roll his R's in a particular way? 'Cause that's the way, the French do it like, and like Spanish do it. Is it? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, it's been a while since I've heard that because it's easier for him to do telepathy, and it's a lot quicker too for him. So, but I haven't heard it in a while. But I think he does roll his R's to a degree. It's been a bit.
Interesting. Oh, these are the questions we really like. The grittiness. Okay, so that's the right. Great.
That's great.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Chemtrails. We always have to talk about chemtrails. Please address the relationship between chemtrails continuing to be sprayed on us. This is from Gaia Warrior. Does this correlate directly with the 1% still being in control on that level? We want them to stop forever and discontinue this hideous program. So, chemtrails, please, Alex.
I've said this before. I'm not the expert on the chemtrails. Are they still spraying it? Obviously they are. And obviously the 1% are clinging to power. They're not gone. They haven't surrendered, because if they had, all that would have been shut down automatically. So it has, from what I understand, it has multiple purposes. Let's go to another question. God, I hate that topic.
I know. Because it's so
about.
disempowering, isn't it?
What's that?
The idea of chemtrails, it's kind of disempowering because we don't know who's doing it. We can't get to them. There's no access. There's no
and it's against the law
face to it.
Planes, so.
Exactly, and there's so many things. Anyway, all right. So this is a question from Vitautus. When I was a child, I remember thinking about all kinds of different colors that probably exist, but not like anything we have like here. Does that mean I was in higher dimensions and I was just remembering them?
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yep, that's exactly right. You remember where you were before you came in. You still held that image. That's great. That's spectacular. That's great. Well done.
That's lovely, isn't it? Chemtrails, Schumann Resonance. I don't know if you know or care about the British politics, but we might be having a general election.
I believe it's in June, right?
Yeah.
For Brexit?
Well, we don't really know. It's like it's very vague. Everything's very vague at the moment. We have a vague prime minister who was vaguely elected. Who wasn't even elected. She wasn't.
Well, I believe that the Labour Party and another party, the Labour Party, doesn't want to leave Brexit, and they have a leader who's different, and they're going to have a general election to choose to either leave or to stay, but it'll shut everybody up at that point. That's my understanding.
So let's just hop over the Atlantic. Is Trump working with any ETs, and which ones are they, if you do know?
I don't know. And he can't work with Democrats. He can hardly work with Republicans. So at this point, I would say no. He's probably not working with any aliens at the moment. You know, uh, there is an awful lot going on in the background, though. There really is. Um, understand something, ladies and gentlemen, and this is not just my perspective, but the perspective of others too. The political parties are nothing more than extensions of the media at this point, and the media is owned by 6 corporations. So, in essence, though everything appears to be a democracy, we really are more or less a fascist state. So, it's not, nothing is what it appears to be, especially here in the States, unfortunately. We have strayed way from our original path. So, next question.
Next question from Mark. Is multiple personality disorder and schizophrenia one soul or several souls?
I don't know.
Any ideas about this?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it would be multiple souls. Could it be just a fractured soul?
Yeah,
I don't know.
What do you know about soul fracture, Alex?
Huh?
Soul fracture. Then, if you want to lead into a topic like that.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know. I will endeavor to find out. That was from Mark, right?
Okay. Yeah. So, and he keeps asking. There's more. How does the timeline split? This is all about fragmentation. How do you know about how timelines might split?
No.
Okay.
I don't know everything. I don't know everything. There's some of you out there who are a lot smarter than me. Please come forward and talk. Share what you know. Okay, it's your time.
We're referring them to the technical department of the Patal. Yes. All right. So here's from Sonia. Could it be that the 5th dimension is hidden out of view behind the matrix that makes us feel like we're in the 3rd dimension? Lots of love from Sonia.
Is it possible that the 5th dimension is hidden out of view from the matrix?
I think what Sonia's question is like, is the 5th dimension here, but we're being shielded from it by our matrix of perception?
Okay. Because understand that the electrical fence that was created around Earth is down. Okay, that's down. That's gone. There is nothing left of it. Whatever technology they used has been obliterated. It doesn't exist. All that's keeping us from moving is our own perception of what we think reality is. And we are already beginning to integrate with 5th density. We already are. But there is no stopping that anymore. There is nothing they can do to stop it. It's just, can they drag it out? How long can they drag it out? The regressives, I mean. So, but that's going to occur. We already have 4th density merging. There's plenty of evidence of that. If you just, watch YouTube of people moving in and out, suddenly appearing and then just walking into another place. They're gone. Okay? So there's a lot of that going on. When I refer to the matrix, I refer to our self-imposed prison of how we perceive reality. And again, that all comes back to what we started to talk about in the very beginning. you cannot make fully informed logical choices with 10% information. No matter what you do, you may get lucky, but the odds are that you're not going to, that you're going to make a poor decision because you don't have 100% of the data that's available. You have 10%. And they get that. You know, the benevolence, they get that. Even the regressives, they get that. But that's what keeps them in power, is because they give us the 10% and we just we're spinning around in our tails. We're chasing our own tails, round and round and round and round and round. Okay? Remaining stuck in the crab bucket by ourselves. We're keeping ourselves stuck in that system by chasing our own tails. Those of us who awaken, we stop spinning our tails and we start to move in a direction. Okay, they're terrified of that, but more and more of that is happening all the time. So we're going to get there. I know we're going to get there. I hope to be alive to see that. But we're going to get there. Humanity's going to get there. All we can do is, like I said, we're forefathers. Do the very best we can to make sure that we share the information accurately and that we leave it for those behind us who are following the trail or blazing their own trail, so that they can make great decisions, that we give them as much decision support as possible. Okay, that's what we can do. You know, as our quest out of third density into fourth, into fifth, and wherever it goes from there, you know, that's all we can do. That's our job at the moment, you know, and to love ourselves.
So,
Hey, JP.
From Björn. All right.
Hello.
Is there truth that the Milky Way galaxy?
I don't know if he's still here or not.
Can you? Oh, hang on.
Um,
Oh God.
I don't even know if I'm still here. If I'm still talking to you guys.
No, we're still on. We're still
Okay.
on.
Good. Good.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Good. God, this is such a nightmare. I have to tell everybody, you know, Google have changed their software for this, and or YouTube has changed it, and it's just behaving very badly, and not how he expected to do. Okay, all right, Lauren, how many actual regressive ETs are on this planet still manipulating governments and the media, etc.? And yeah, we got a few more regressive questions.
As of just a few months ago, I was told that there were 612, down from 1,800. But there are 612.
And are they actually still active in like government manipulation positions?
The whole thing. They're a group. That's what they do. You know, they're in survival, so they're all going to work together, regardless of where they are. They're all working together because they're all going to go down. You know, they're all going to go down, so they're going to go down together. Just like we're all going to evolve, hopefully together. Okay. So.
Okay. Well, going on from that.
What's that?
This is from Mike. So I said that there's a few questions about this, so let's carry on. With respect to the races that have been co-opted and twisted by the Dracos, is there hope that we can eventually liberate and heal them?
If they so choose to. If they so choose to. They have to make a choice. You can't fix stupid if stupid doesn't want to be fixed. You just can't. You know, no more than you can make a teenager put his clothes in the laundry basket if he simply refuses to do it. Okay? So what you do is you take the clothes and you put them in the trash can. So when he gets up in the morning and he can't find his t-shirt, it's gone because you didn't take care of it. Then you start to get their attention. That's just an analogy, mind you. That's just an analogy. But it's the same thing with these ruffians, you know? It's the same thing. Sometimes you have to treat them like a child in order to get their attention. You know? You know, and I have said this from day one. Just because they're in starships doesn't mean they're better than you. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means technologically they're more advanced. That's all that means. Okay? But whether you have no technology and you're a jerk, or whether you have a starship and you're a jerk, you're still a jerk. Okay? So, and what do you do to make a jerk shift his perspective? You have to get his attention. So, again, it all depends on their decision. It is possible, Mike. It is possible. But voluntary introspection is just that. It's voluntary introspection. Okay? So, next question.
All right, so this is from Ingrid. Continually finding a gray area where the Anunnaki and reptilians seem to meet. Can Alex please clarify whether or not the Anunnaki and the reptilians are one and the same? What's it all about?
Okay, well, the Anunnaki have, some of the Anunnaki, specifically the older family bloodlines, have a great deal of reptilian in them. And in fact, some of their physical form, in their physical form, whether human or not, they have scales, reptilian scales on their bodies. Now, if you're referring to the Draconians, most races have a very difficult time with them, regardless. The reptilians, the draconian reptilians, they're a different breed altogether. So they're dealt with in a different way. So I'm sure that there is some gray area where they cohabitate to a degree, but you would never actually ever, from what I understand, you would never actually ever see them on the same side because neither would ever trust each other fully. They would never fully trust each other because of their long, long history of conflict, you know, in space. So, you know, having a discussion is sharing knowledge. Having an argument is sharing one's ignorance. And I believe it was Aristotle who said that. That seems to be apropos for the conflict between some of the ET groups and the regressive groups. They no longer have discussions. They usually just turn into arguments. So what happens is they don't talk to each other at all. And that's what's happened here in third density an awful lot. There have been no conversations. Folks, I have to go. The ladies here for the room.
Alex, so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for supporting our little webinar, and we're going to get better at this. Again, this is the first time we're using the software, and guys, I love you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. God bless.
Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary journey of self-discovery and cosmic enlightenment with Alex Collier. Your support means the world to us. If you found this video insightful, please show your appreciation by giving it a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon to receive notifications for future uploads. By doing so, you stay connected with the latest cosmic revelations and help us spread Alex Collier's profound teachings to a broader audience. Remember, every like, subscription, and bell click can awaken more minds and ignite a collective shift in consciousness. We encourage you to share your thoughts, reflections, and questions in the comments below, as your engagement fuels the expansion of knowledge and fosters a vibrant community of truth seekers. Together, we can uncover the hidden truths of the universe and embark on a journey of cosmic transformation. Until we meet again, keep seeking, growing, and shining your light in the vast cosmic tapestry. If you would like to see Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org.
Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.